Do you remember any major events or celebrations that have happened in the area or on the common?
We used to have lots of street parties in the street. In fact, the streets round about Roswell Road, Hewenden Road, St Leonard's Road. In fact, we had a big one for the Queen's Silver Jubilee, I think it was, and they had Quarrington Road, which is quite a long road, good, getting on for about 200 metres, and it was closed off top to bottom, and there was a table right down the middle. And of course, my kids went to Simon and Samantha went to Ashby Down School when they were little, and all the local kids round about, and everybody from the area they had the street party there. It was absolutely, it was good. And then on the night time we were in the school for the adults. But it was brilliant. It was really good fun. And we used to have a regular street parties for any reason, any excuse at all. And yeah, they were good. We used to have some real good, some kids stuff for the kids up in the field during the day, and then in the evening we'd either have the Scout Hut, which is in Wilton Hillfield, and we'd have a party in there and a barbecue and all that sort of stuff. It used to be really fun, and it was all local people. It wasn't people sort of buying tickets and shipping in. Yeah, they brought their own stuff, and it used to be really very good. You'd have old people, and we'd really sort of very elderly people coming out and having a few beers when they hadn't had a drink for years, and sitting on the wall singing and all this sort of nonsense. It was good fun. Yeah, they were brilliant. It was really good fun.
You kept saying you used to then.
Well, so it doesn't seem to happen so much. The people just aren't. It's almost as if now they expect you to buy a ticket and go to something that somebody else has organised, but they don't want to actually organise it themselves. So they tend to be going away to. It's the transportation thing again. They can drive to Blaise Castle, or they can drive up onto the Downs and have a picnic and stuff like that. Whereas tended then, there were a few cars around, but we tended to get all the cars out of the street, just ask people to park elsewhere, and they just open up the street, block it off at both ends, and just have a party. But they don't seem to do that now. It's not the same. Simply because of the amount of movement of people. People are not localised. They go away, Friday night, pack up, go away for the weekend, come back on Sunday night, so they don't tend to hang around. It's definitely, you can see the fragmentation of the sort of the people. You've got the young people who are working, obviously, and then the older people who tend to be out and about during the day. We don't see them in the evenings or at night, especially in the winter time. And there isn't that same sort of cohesion. There's not the same sort of neighbourliness as that it used to be. But it seems almost as if people don't want to organise things for themselves. They don't organise parties, stuff like that. They all expect it all be done. I'll come along and somebody will give me food and someone else will play the music. Whereas we used to do it all. You'd have kitchen tables, out in the street. There wasn't anything fancy about it. It was just a couple of scaffold planks, with a couple of trestles, and people just get on with it. But it doesn't happen now. It doesn't happen as much now. I know a couple of places around who have tried to do it, but it used to be, it was a big deal. There was lots and lots of people got involved in it. Stuff like, even the people who couldn't cook or, didn't want to, be involved, they'd be making bunting and putting bunting up around their houses and all sorts of stuff. As I say, a couple of times all we had was a couple of dustbins turned on their side and a couple of scaffold planks just sat on top of it, you had the seat. And we'd have photographs around and you'd have maybe 40 or 50 people all sat in fact we had them sat on the road. Just put people putting out carpets and cushions and just sitting down. It was great. It was a real good laugh. And there was no rowdiness around like that, but we had one that went on, it must have been 5 o'clock in the morning when we packed up and went home. The kids had all gone to bed. They'd been put to bed and we just sat out there having a laugh and giggle. It was brilliant. The big thing is now, it seems that people, they'd have a sing-song, they'd sit and sing, some of these old silly songs that they sung. But they all want music, you've got to have somebody, you've got to have a licence to play music and all this sort of nonsense. We just got on with it, we just organised. Somebody brought a CD player on, it was new, someone, wow, somebody's got a tape player. But it tended to be just people singing and dancing, some people playing guitars and violins and stuff. And we just got out and played it. A couple of people sat on the wall, got drunk, fell in somebody's garden. So what? Not be bothered about it. It was just one of those things. It happened. We used to have different things for the kids. You know, they'd play, you know, sports days and stuff like that. But it all seemed to. It was all encapsulated into one thing. It was just a matter of we'd have a street party, you know, and it would turn into a bit of a kickabout in the field or running around playing, and there'd be somebody singing and stuff like that. But it wasn't as if there was any separate events. It was, you know, you'd have a barbecue. We used to have several barbecues every year, you know, and they just say, oh, we'll have one bank holiday or something like that, and people just chip in. They'd bring the barbecue out, you know, we'd get 3 or 4 barbecues going, and people would bring what they wanted, more or less. It wasn't as if anybody organised it and said, oh, we'll bring this, we'll bring that. They just, you know, brought what they wanted, and then certain people set fire to the fence.